Hello and welcome. I wasn't expecting to make a video quite this quickly, and honestly, little unfortunate that it's also going to be quite a negative video. So, um, right now, there is a multiplayer going on that is about 3 hours into a 4 hour runtime. I was in this multiplayer, and the fact that I'm making this video now should go some way to show that I'm no longer in this multiplayer. That's because I died. Okay. There are things that I want to complain about, and I hope it doesn't come across as me just being salty that I died, because mostly what I'm doing is making this video as these are the things that led to my death that I think are not right with the game and should be changed. So hopefully that comes across, because I'm trying not to be salty. But either way, this is the recording that I took of the war. I'm not going to be putting this on the VOD channel. You can find it on Twitch if you are interested in seeing it. Basically, there was a whole almost an hour of lobby simulator, and then we finally got in, and yeah. So this is me as Castile. I have allies in Portugal and France, but neither of them will play any kind of part in the proceedings. And I want to go to war with Aragon. Aragon has no alliances, and I see that they are improving relations with Egypt, but their relations are still like minus 150. I also end up using some of my spy network on Aragon to lower Egypt's opinion of them. So I wasn't worried about like alliance situations. Aragon knew that this war was coming. He was trying to, find allies elsewhere, and from what I can tell, I isolated him. Right? I feel like I did that well enough.
Trillion Cav.
I don't want to hear anything. I also go and I try and agitate for liberty on Navarra. He no CB'd him basically day one, so that's why Navarra's there. All well and good, whatever, right? We're gonna go forward a bit. I raise levies. I've got 1,500 regulars, and I start off by maybe throwing away some troops needlessly. I thought I could get out of here in time, but essentially, this really isn't any kind of what my issue is. My issue is, and you can actually just see it already. This army, it's 50,000. It's basically majority of the forces I have available. And look, can I just point out once again, real quick, just watch this little circle, and I want you to see it's at full, and it's going down. It's now gone. Like 3 ticks, 3 days. It was completely gone. And yes, this army is larger than it's supposed to be. It's larger than its I don't know what whatever this is called. These 3 bricks mean that you're over your supply limit. But losing all of the food in 3 ticks is, in my opinion, kind of insane. So this is an issue that I had basically from the very start of this war up until I lost it. Is I have no food. When you have no food, you don't regain morale. Moving your army costs morale. I essentially am completely out of the ability to gain any morale on these armies. They're starving, there is no food. All of these provinces are already completely wiped out of food. There's nothing there. And sure, there is the argument that can be made. It's like, oh, you use supply regiments. The year is 1340 and supply regiments, sure, I can build them, but there is no... Like, they're regulars. No one's got barracks right now. No one's got the training field. No one's got any of the buildings that give you regiments. So unless I was going to delete the footmen that I started with, then what am I going to do? How am I going to get the food, right? My armies all started starving immediately, and there was nothing that I could do about it. I ended up splitting my army up. You can see I've split these into 2 20Ks. I also split these up again. But my point is, and I think this is a very good point to make, and I think I'm not wrong in saying this, even if I split up my army. They're taking food from the same place. So I can't keep these armies close together. So I have to put them in separate provinces from one another. And doing any kind of offensive operation, trying to siege someone else's land, becomes completely impossible. Because any kind of, you don't even need to have parity in numbers, because what you would do is I'll put 8k on the fort, I'll put 8k in various different provinces. What Aragon can do in response is do the same. He has his own armies. He doesn't have as many men, but he can put 8k, 8k, 8k. Say he's got more than this because it's not showing the mercenaries that he ended up getting. Say he's got 20k, a little bit more than 20k. He merges them together, attacks my disparate 8k, and then retreats again. And there's no way that I can do anything about that. I can't put an army close enough to get involved in that battle because they will starve. If they starve, they won't get any morale. And there's just no method by which you can counter the horrific state of the logistics system. I would argue that the logistics system that we had previous to 1.2, I can't remember when the change was actually made, where you had basically logistics didn't matter unless you were going overseas. Honestly, way better. And it might not have been more historically accurate. But I would argue that the thing that we're currently playing, it's a game. And the aim of games is to have fun. And this right now is not fun. Warfare is not fun. And that's like, it blows my mind that anyone could, I mean, no, I'm not going to say anyone can think this is a reasonable thing to have happen. Obviously, the devs aren't intending to make warfare not fun. That's not their intention at all, obviously. But the reason I don't play Victoria 3 is that the warfare system is complete and utter shite. Like, woeful garbage. If EU5's warfare system becomes woeful garbage, I also won't play EU5. Warfare is a critical pillar of my enjoyment of grand strategy games. Right now, EU5's warfare is terrible because of this logistics system. I made the video a week ago or so, complaining about the logistics system when we looked at Milan, right? And my Italy invading the Ottomans with a bunch of troops. And the arguments that I got in response was, you had too many people, the armies are too big, and obviously there was issues with supply depots as well. Supply depots don't fix this issue, because I have no ability to put food in those supply depots. Because early game, we only have levies. If the warfare system starts to work after 50 to 100 years, then fine. No, actually, not fine. Because you start the game in 1337. The warfare system should work in 1337 because, countries were having wars in 1337. We're just incapable of doing that right now. Like, Castile versus Aragon should not be a war that Castile just completely lose at. If I was playing Aragon against Castile 1v1, I would win, because you would just wait until they siege and then they would starve, and you wait until they starve and then you win. There's no path to victory for Castile here. And considering Castile could raise, I think I started the war with like 60,000 troops. That is insane to say that they don't have that path to victory. But really, you can't siege. You can't siege, you starve. If you starve, you lose troops, you lose morale, and the enemy will wipe you. That's just the long and short of it, right? Offensive actions in multiplayer are completely dead. And the reason I've paused here is because I want to point out something else, which is, honestly, I was so close to crashing out on stream earlier because of this. I feel like I kept my cool rather nicely. But I was seething inside, and I'm still quite annoyed about it now. And this is no hate to the Aragon player, right? The lobby I was playing in had fewer rules than I personally enjoy, that's fine, right? There is space for all levels of multiplayer in, Paradox multiplayer ecosystem. That's fine. I join someone else's lobby, I play by their rules. Also perfectly reasonable. My argument that I'm going to make is that what happened that annoyed me should not have been possible via game mechanics, right? The fact that it was, the player utilizing the mechanics as they are, obviously no hate on him. But if you notice, I've got this screen open where I am in the Diplo screen with Aragon, right? I was checking out the amount of troops he had. Notice up here, these are the international organizations that he is a member of. Notice that he is in a single international organization, that being the Catholic Church, clergy, blah, 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 right? That's the only one he's in. We are at war. You can tell by the red line and the occupations and all of that. We are at war. He's in one single international organization. Let me go forward a bit, and we will see that I'm fucking starving, of course. We have battles, whatever, it is what it is. But there... Oh, hang on, I just seen it. There we go. Tunis is now at war with me. How is Tunis at war with me? We literally just saw it there. Hang on, let me get back into that screen if I can do at all. I click on him, and there we go. He's now in a second international organization. He is in a defensive league. It is possible in the year of our Lord 2026 to create a defensive league after a war has already been declared, and then call those members into a war. That's... Personally, I think that's heavy bollocks, right? You shouldn't be allowed to do that via mechanics. Secondly, the people that he is invited into his defensive league are Tunis and the Mamluks. These are countries that he was incapable of allying with because their relations were negative 150 something, but being able to add them into a defensive league doesn't take that same system into account? I'm sorry. What the fuck are you talking about? Of course it should. So yeah, I died real hard because, well, there's 106,000 arrayed against me. There's no winning after that, right? There's just no winning. I mean, my armies got absolutely obliterated, right? We had a few battles, and there is just no hope after a certain point because, yeah, it is what it is. I was going to call France in, but then he started having issues of his own. I want to get to the point where I unconditionally surrender because we'll be able to see losses as well. Yeah, there we go. I lost 65,000 troops. And he hired 10,000 mercenaries to fight the war. I started with 60-odd thousand levies, and I was down to 5,500. Yeah, I don't know. I think that there is no justification for having the ability to call in a if you are incapable of allying somebody because of relations, specifically mechanically, physically prevented from allying them because of relations, you shouldn't be able to do a defensive league with them. I think it's insane. And calling somebody in to a war through defensive league after a war started, also heavy bullshit on that. Heavy bullshit on that. So yeah, that's my experience. Very unhappy. Very unhappy. I need warfare to change in this game. I need warfare to change. I was so optimistic, and now I am It's the fucking roller coaster, isn't it? We're so back, it's so over. I'm currently in the so over trenches. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm very unhappy with this situation. Warfare needs to not be shit, otherwise this game will be just like Vic 3 to me. Like, there is no good grand strategy game that drops the ball on Warfare. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. And right now, they're dropping the ball on Warfare. I quite like the changes that they've made with mercenaries. The ability to just click and get them real easy. Love that. Love the changes to levies being more stronger now. Although apparently Morocco and Tunis are now absolutely giga cracked because they get these tribal levies, and you can get so many of them. And they're better than like Age 2 regulars. It's also something that he's looking at. But this logistic system is such a heavy misplay that I struggle to see the way out of it. But yeah. Anyway, thanks all for watching. I'm gonna go and play a good game now. Like E4 or Victoria 2 or RimWorld or something. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.